Ka to you too, random citizen. Oh. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the last week of the regular season for Victoris Rivals Series. My name is Maris. I have no co-caster right now because Oath is fucking trolling me. So is my dog in the background. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Oath has decided that a double up TFT game is more important than casting with me, so he'll be here in a couple minutes. But for now, we've got bans for game number 1. Yumi, Caitlyn, Graves, Talia, and Aatrox no longer going to be played. Mason will have to find another champion to play. Never been heard of before. Silas is the last ban. And immediately, Maokai countered by Seraphine. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say. Maokai is very strong pick in the current meta. We're seeing it just a ton at Worlds. You know, I hope Maokai wins XD. I'm a Maokai main, and he's just so fun. People get so trolled by the roots, and his voice lines are so cute, like when he talks about the forest lol. He's super vengeful, but also a treat, just like me, XD. I have no real value analysis to give you, so we have MF Seraphine. They both have ults that you hit and then fire in a straight line, so they tend to be pretty good together. Braum is a decent counter into that, though, for the dogs. They have some beefy lads between Maokai and Braum so far, built for their comp, and that is the premier DPS ADC in Sivir. I don't believe RotM will go Shaco. Lilia makes a lot of sense, though, just to round out kind of the typical Heimerdoodles champion pool, and they get it with minimal pain, so feel pretty good about that, but we'll see. Kind of interesting to see what both teams have built thus far in their drafts. Victor going to be banned away. You're looking presumably for most solo lane bans, although Maokai can go top, as well as jungle. Probably not support this game, seeing as you have Braum locked in. Thanks, Winged, for the resubscription. 23 months. That's a couple. More than a couple. Darius being taken off the list as well. Oh, Oath is alive? He lives? The boy?
Good evening, friend.
Are you winning your double up game?
I am absolutely smashing my double up game. I got Namzi 3 with BIS and 4-1 Mage.
That was a lot of numbers and things that I'd have to take time to break down, and I don't know. Man.
Far more interesting is this draft that I'm looking at, because Return of the Middlesticks first rotationing Seraphine is a trend I've never seen before, personally.
Yeah, I'm more curious what Mason is going to play. Because he is now...
a good question.
Alright.
Well, that checks out. That's... Sure.
So this feels like Darkwind are big egoing their first draft here. And,
a little bit, maybe.
Dog
sure.
Kappa has a much more standard, normal draft built into this that can team fight and pick and do the things.
One might even call it traditional.
And they have the Keenan mid to round things out. I guess you could go Gangplank mid with Keenan top. Not unheard of.
And the flexibility, I'm sure, is something that they don't mind having either.
Go really off the board and go with your Wits End Braum jungle, throw Maokai support. A lot of options. For Mason, though, we've seen a couple of the options that he's traditionally defaulted to. Irelia is interesting. So Irelia is a really good matchup into Kennen, and a pretty bad one into Gangplank.
Yeah, notoriously quite difficult to play into GP, but maybe they just send it to whatever lane the Kennen's going to. That would be my first guess.
I also don't know that you want Gangplank versus Seraphine ever. Like, I just don't see a good matchup for... Well, against Gangplank, I guess. It feels like you just get to let him farm, which is what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. That also seems pretty viable.
Yeah. So interesting drafts for game number 1. RotM comes in at 6-0, and Dorado Gaming Kappa 5-1. So this game, for first place in the group. I don't think that really gets them anything other than being first place in the group.
Man, first place in the group sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Like on paper.
On paper, it's pretty good because then you get to fight a weaker team in the playoffs. But I mean, it's not like an extra first round bye or anything.
Nope. It doesn't quite give you that.
How do the playoffs work? Oh, that's really boring. Wait, what?
Oh?
Okay, top 4 of each group advance to playoffs. Round of 12 is best of 3. There's a round of 12? By God, there is. Okay.
Okay then. Sure.
So presumably you have to be one of the top 4 seeds, which means that first in the group and the best second place team get a bye. I don't envy whoever has to try to rule book that out.
Yeah, that seems unnecessarily convoluted. I don't purport myself to be a fantastic format guy, but
I guess first place in the group matters quite a bit then, because you guaranteed the first round bye.
Right.
I would
Seeding
hazard
seems particularly important.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess at 6-1 being good as a second place team, but like I don't know. I don't know how you determine between 3 teams in 3 different groups which one's the best second place team.
I have to assume they have a hierarchy of some kind, going like
because it'd have to be like game score followed by
game score, game time. I've seen, yeah, no, I've only ever really seen game score followed by game time. So
game time is just such a ridiculous tiebreaker.
It really is, but like
I understand
you
don't want to just go flip a coin. So
I guess since the game is supposedly objective driven, you could go objective secured, like towers plus dragons instead of game time, but that seems I don't know. I feel like you get that number kind of baked into games 1, right?
We need
like
to.
The team that won would probably have a higher count of dragons and towers, especially towers.
I don't know how much of a statistics fan are you. The classic one is in baseball. There's a stat called wins above replacement or WAR, which is supposed to measure objectively how much you're contributing to your team above an average player. So if you added up the WAR of the players on the team, you could theoretically figure out how good the team is. You need a stat like that, just an all-in-one stat. Whoever has the better all-in-one stat wins, rather than just, oh, they won a bunch of 15-minute games, so they win, I guess.
I guess my boilerplate default for that would probably be team-wide KDA. I don't know. I don't feel like there is a perfect stat like that for League. It would have to take in so many different factors.
Well, regardless, we have 3 minutes to kill and team comps to examine in excruciating detail. I'm not really feeling it today. You want to talk about Worlds?
Sure. I love talking about Worlds.
Alright, so my boys CTBC Flying Oyster are getting out of the group. Calling that.
Are they?
No, but man can dream.
You can, in fact, dream, and I encourage it, to be honest with you.
No, I went super boring and picked no Western teams getting out. Straight up.
That is pretty boring.
It has been successful previously, so that I don't have to buy people jerseys and skins and stuff in my own Worlds pool. That's really the goal, right? Is to not give away as much of my money as possible.
That is historically a pretty good strat, is to not pick any Western teams to advance. My only like outright gamble, because I got rid of some of my gambles. My only outright gamble is Gigabyte Marines first place their group.
Oh.
They have not been on the world stage in some time. Vietnam with the 2 years worth of COVID travel ban. 3? 2? I think it's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two worlds worth of COVID travel bans, so
plus 2
getting seeded
MSIs,
directly into the tournament.
Not mistaken.
Yeah, they have missed 4 major international tournaments, unfortunately, because of that. But they've always been my favorite team to watch, so.
Yeah, I'd buy that, except that, is it Beyond Gaming that's, were they PCS or VCS? The second seed Vietnam team didn't do great play-ins. That's all I got.
True. Yeah, no, Gigabyte's always kind of been like the new version of Flash Wolves, where they're really the only team in their region. There's a lot of wildcard teams that are kind of like that. I say wildcard, they're not one of the 4 major regions. Like DFM has not missed a Worlds in what, 4 or 5 years? They're like de facto best in Japan.
I only know this because I looked it up. They have only missed 1 Worlds ever where Japan has qualified. And it was 3 ago. But yeah. That was V5 Esports. Just to name drop, pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
I rarely know you to not know what you're talking about.
Oh, Saigon
Especially
Buffalo is
when
the
League of Legends
Vietnam. Of course, Saigon is in Vietnam, as it turns out. I just feel like we'd seen Mr. Buffalo more recently than we'd seen Gigabyte Marines.
I kind of felt like that too. Before they were Saigon Buffalo, it was Phongvu Buffalo.
Phongvu Buffalo.
Which I like the name better. Shameless plug. But I think the name is better.
I also really just like, on Saigon they have Beam J. I don't know why that name in particular. I just think it's very funny. Like, I couldn't decide on Bean, so we added J to the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Alright, well, we're loading in. Wow, that was a quick load. We're in to game number 1. Do you have someone you can spectate off of, potentially?
I do, yes.
Okay.
For right now, I will be spectating off of the stream, but we are guaranteed a win in 2 rounds, so.
Alright, well, that's really annoying. The scroll bar is just perma there. As long as the chat is there.
Love that for us.
That's very distracting. Why? I'm assuming...
Yeah,
okay, it does go away.
Suboptimal.
First game on the new patch to spectate, so always get to find more fun spectator glitches. We'll see if we fell behind. We did, in fact. A couple seconds speed up. Yeah, what's new? None of these champions really got nerfed or buffed this patch, so this is very default to what happened last patch, presumably. Heimerdoodle's just tanked 3 saplings, and he's not feeling great about that. His skinny little deer legs hurting a little bit now as he's got to walk over to his blue buff. And yeah, Waterflan's got a lot of info out of that, and is still continuing to get a lot of info out of that.
We are pressing this button. Oh, did Cairo kick me off his friends list? Surely not. Wait, what if I can just spectate off of you?
You can't.
That's super big brain. I cannot?
Nope.
I cannot.
It does not work.
Huh. Let me try this then.
Did OPGG fail you?
That's the next shot. I just
Okay.
thought for sure that I had somebody on my friends list
Okay.
from this squad.
We'll
go.
I mean, regardless, we can pick you up next game. So might
I mean,
be an
yeah, I've
awkward
done
game.
several casts off of Twitch stream before. I just didn't feel like I would have to do that, so I wasn't worried about it.
Cairo is on a ward and finds out he's on a ward, so he's gonna have to zip on back. But that means that he cannot continue to be very aggressive. And Ramesor actually a little bit behind in CS thus far. We'll have to keep track of that. But Arch has his cull to start with, and so far so good for the Braum Sivir lane. Always good when you can come in and there's an aggressive pick like a Pyke and just shove them in, feel pretty comfortable, get involved in the game a little bit.
I'm getting several security prompts for this .bat file that OPGG wants to run off my PC. However, we're loading, which is ideal.
Mason not quite able to find the stun onto 9-line Klein, and that means that Heimerdoodles will scamper back into his own jungle.
Oh, we're in. It's
We're
so
in.
free.
We did it. All right. 3:37 into the game. I have a co-caster also in the game. Ramesor might not be in the game for too much longer. It's first blood as that proc from the Braum passive. That was a really weird little chain of events because he cleansed somehow prior to being stunned and dying, I guess? I'm not really sure, but now Cairo's in trouble as Waterflans is looking for the dive, and Waterflans might not really want this. He can't go into this tower. And now Ramesor's back. This is... I don't know if it's a little scary or if I'm over-exaggerating just a little bit, but in comes the Bone Skewer. Does he hit? Oh, he didn't quite hit Waterflans. I think if he hits that one, it is a lot of trouble, but instead, they'll get away with a kill. It's a clean little lead for Dog Kappa in the bottom lane to start off with.
I think I might be a couple of seconds ahead of you somehow, which would be impressive, but...
I actually can't speed up anymore. 433, 34, 35.
Okay. Yeah. We should be good then. Yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty interesting little interaction in the bot lane there.
Because it looked like he got stunned, cleansed it, and then died afterwards, but there wasn't any extra damage that came through unless there was, you know, some shenanigans with a dot or something, or the Braum passive damage applies after the stun. It was very quick, regardless to what happened. Either that or he didn't cleanse anything, but it looked like he got the like cleanse animation when you successfully cleanse something.
He might have been cleansing off the slow.
Oh, that might have been it.
Thinking he wasn't going to take another auto. I really do enjoy seeing Braum. It's not the de facto pick with Sivir, but it is one of my favorite characters.
I think Braum's pretty boring, but he's good character design, so we'll let it go.
It's going to amount to a pretty not insubstantial CS lead in the bot lane for as early as we are. Almost halfway done on that Cole. This is pretty good.
Yeah, stun lands from Mason. 9-line Klein has to flash away, so finally the pressure paying off for Heimerdoodles as he gets the flash up in top lane. And meanwhile in mid lane, Loker gets the charm onto Waterflans. Does he have the damage? He does with the extra notes passives. Not often
Hypnotic Scruff just not really in range to assist with that one at all.
Yeah, not often you see a gank in the mid lane get turned around by the mid laner for the solo kill on the jungler.
Especially not on Seraphine of all champions. Of course, I think Maokai jungle is good. I also think it's a little bit of a fad that's been... Oh.
Heimerdoodles is playing this really nicely.
Yeah, he is.
That was great. Okay. Just really patient. Cairo getting a little aggressive there, and he's going to pay for it as Itchy Rat takes him down. 2-2.
Yeah, this aggression in the bottom lane not really paying off super well for Cairo. I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing him roam a little bit, just unable to pick up a whole lot into the Braum Sivir.
Yeah, and it just feels like he and Ramesor are just a little bit desynced, but Arch and Itchy Rat have been on the same page. So that little extra tick of damage has been very valuable, and Arch and Ichirat are really flexing their muscles here early on. The hook does land on Ichirat, though. Heimerdoodles is here trying to get the two-man sleep, but Arch has the spell shield to make sure he doesn't get ticked. Ichirat does fall. Arch is stuck in the back of the pit. Doesn't have flash. Nowhere to go. He'll get taken down for the double kill for Ramesor. And Waterflans is in trouble now. He'll fall to the blooming blow of Heimerdoodles. They lost Cairo during the exchange, but overall 3-for-1 for ROTM.
Yeah, and now, unsurprisingly for the Darkwind game, all eyes on Heimerdoodles, 202 on his Lilia. Fairly signature champion for him. He's also going to go back here after this jungle rotation with a lot of gold to his name.
Yeah, Mason had that passive stack.
Rotation.
Yeah, I was a little curious about why he dashed back in the first place, because he had his passive stacked, but I guess wanted to just heal a little bit on the minions, feel a little more secure. Typically, you get that passive stacked, you just get into melee range of Kennen and then just start autoing him to death, and he can't do anything about it.
That's a fun experience in mid at the moment. So
Waterflans with the Hex Flash in. Mason gets rooted up, only gets the stun onto Waterflans, so he's going to have a tough time dancing out of this one, and not going to be able to as Waterflans takes him down with the Bramble Smash.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Kennen on the ropes, but you're running out of mana. You probably aren't allowed to be that far up. At least not without dropping a ward in that bush first, but...
Yeah, he's got two of them too, so very possible he could have done it.
Yeah, I decided not to like draw attention to that until I knew that he hadn't used one yet, because that feels kind of BM. But definitely had not used one yet, which is unfortunate.
No, I'll call him out. There was a game we trashed Boar the whole time because he was sitting on one vision score. So, you know, you got to take it where you can get it. Sometimes you have to flaunt your bronze.
I mean, that's fair, but
at least I know how to put
feel like
wards
at that
down.
point,
I might not have hands or my keyboard or my monitor on, but I can place wards down.
To be fair, if I remember that game correctly, it was one vision score at like 14 minutes too. So. A little deserved, at least.
I feel a little bad for Cairo. He keeps using his sweeper to try to get vision control in the bush, and just has been completely unable to. Like, hasn't been able to walk up and hit the wards, and now because he's not level 6, really just... There's nothing happening here until Heimerdoodles is here, and he'll land the Swirl Seed. Is there an ult? No, he does have it up. Now Heimerdoodles is able to pop it. Cleanse from Arch. He's got a lot of defensive tools. Ramesor does take down the Braum in the trade. It's a 2v2 still, as the stun from Cairo, not quite enough. Good dash away. Arch using that movement speed from the On the Hunt. Heimerdoodles can't quite track him down, and now the Bramble Smash comes through, and it gets tipped in the favor of Dorado Gaming in the bottom lane.
That was really well played by Arch in that exchange. Good on Waterflans knowing that was coming in. I mean, he was there for that counter gank pretty much immediately, and it's going to secure a disgusting CS lead in the bot lane to about 40 at 10 minutes, which is pretty good.
So it looks like Cairo DC'd and then immediately reconnected, but now 9-line Klein isn't there, so we're going to take just a short pause. I can't find the pause screen.
You know, hang out for a little while. It's probably fine. I am interested to see how the rest of this mid game plays out. You did just pick up the. Honestly, I'm not sure if Heimerdoodles had a shutdown or not. Can I check in the chat? I can. Yeah, he did. There was a short one, small one, for 150 gold. Now there's a significantly larger one on Waterflans, but I kind of doubt this Maokai's dying anytime soon. He's going to go back and buy Mythic here. He's got about 2,300.
Oh, they were helping 9-line Klein get a job, helping him with his resume. That's good, you know. That's worthwhile to take a break in the middle of a League of Legends game for.
Yeah. Speaking of taking the break in the middle of the League of Legends game, I have the spectator pause, the funny spectator pause.
Yeah, we certainly are doing that. Something I have just noticed I'm going to talk about is Hypnotic Scruff has completed his Essence Reaver. Also has a funny stopwatch item that's going to make it very difficult to get aggressive on the Gangplank anytime soon. He is farming like a machine, and somehow Loker is actually, doing fine. Like,
Yeah, keeping up for sure. Definitely no slouch in the CS department.
But an 002 109 CS Gangplank at 11 minutes is a little scary. He's gonna do some damage coming into the mid game.
Wonder if he'll be playing the funny Prowler's Claw Gangplank variant. He is mid. He doesn't need to really. He doesn't have a very long lane that he needs to like be able to run off of.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how Chad Hypnotic Scruff wants to go with his build. Waterflans and Itchy Rat are here for the counter gank. Yeah, immediately the zip out of there, the speed boost for Loker to get on out, and we might have a 3v3 anyway. Looks like Ramosaur's got the first move of the 80 carries, but he's not actually headed down there. I can't really tell what's happening. We're exchanging ults up in the top lane. Mason wins these sustained trades. As soon as 9line Klein's ult is down, he really doesn't have anything left, and yeah, there's the flash away from Kennen. That's kind of the little game. If you can completely burst Irelia out, you can win that, but the second she has a little bit of HP left and a dash, you're in a little bit of trouble. Cairo gets the hook onto Itchy Rat, but no one really there to follow him up. Heimerdoodles has to zip out with the Watch Out Eep, and Ramosaur waiting in the wings right now. He's got a flank on the MF, which are words in that order.
This doesn't really feel like a fight. Like, there's no way with Waterflan's up at level 8 with his ult you actually contest this, right?
Oh, Loker gets his ult stopped by Itchy Rat. Now the engage comes on through. Heimerdoodle's in trouble. Hypnotic Scruff just blows up Loker and Heimerdoodles for the double kill. Glacial Fissure not doing a whole lot for Itchy Rat. Bullet time used by Ramosaur. The pull in. Cairo doesn't get the kill from the Death Room below. Follows him in, gets the Ignite kill onto Itchy Rat, but now will fall to Arch in the meantime. 3-for-1 the other way this time out of the dragon fight. That one going for Dorado Gaming, and they'll pick up their second dragon of the game.
Yeah, as soon as I said that it probably shouldn't be a fight, and then I saw that they were fighting, I was like, this is not going to go well. And off of it, I don't really have that many points as analysis. Like, you shouldn't be there. You give that dragon.
What I think is interesting.
Go grab Herald.
So Waterflan's went Bramble into Anathema's chains.
I don't hate that.
Whomst is he chaining?
I mean, at this point, I feel like the smart chain is probably Ramosaur. Unless he feels like he's going to be dueling Heimerdoodles a whole lot, but I'm trying to figure out who it is that has it at the moment.
Well, he didn't have it. He had the item, but he didn't put it on anyone during that last fight because he's got 0 damage reduced. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the stacks up though. It's at 30 stacks at the moment. Who's the Vendetta? Oh, it's Mason actually.
Is Anathema's chains a Callista item? Just the quote: "She swore to dedicate her life to his destruction." Or is it like something else? Because it's like spooky, but. I just read Ruination, so I've got it on the brain. But
I suppose it could be Senna.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense too, but
sort of does.
I don't know.
I also feel like those two items came out around the same time. Callista's been out for forever.
Yeah, Callista doesn't exist.
That's a really nice flash.
Game. Yeah, that is a really good flash. Arch with a spell shield on the Bone Skewer. Loker just walked back in.
And then we walked back in.
Yeah,
oh, no. No. Oh, that's sad. You have no vision. You can't. Surely you can't be there.
Yeah, they killed the Rift Herald, so that's
Nobody's
essentially just a denial of the second Rift Herald, which isn't the second Rift Herald. It's the first Rift Herald, which is the big track of it.
Right, which is it does kind of warrant a question as to why we're fighting, because now the second Rift Herald isn't even going to spawn in to be like takeable. It's going to spawn in at like exactly 1930. You can't be here.
Yeah. And he really can't do anything to Arch. Oh my gosh. The glacial fissure damage from Itchy Rat finishes off the kill. Now the Bone Skewer lands from Cairo. They're trying to turn on to Itchy Rat, but he's got the big shield.
He's actively Braum. I mean, okay, so some positives. You do get both sums and ult off of Arch there, which is kind of nice. But you continue to trade Heimerdoodle's life for that, and at one point this deer was like 2-0 and is now 2-3. I also haven't seen him pick up any extra farm in quite some time.
Yeah, he was at one point pacing the Maokai, and now Maokai is almost even. Like 10 CS isn't a ridiculous gap in the jungle.
Well, things you need to watch out for. Hypnotic Scruff is almost certainly going Prowlers, based off of these items, unless that's supposed to be a collector. Which would be a pretty Chad build, not buying Mythic until 3rd.
Prowler's Claw.
And,
he did buy the right amount of cloaks, though. Like, that is the Chad amount of cloaks to buy.
Correct cloak purchasing. Mythic's finished up for just about everyone who's relevant on the side. Sans the Maokai, who does have a Anathemas, so it's kind of like having a Mythic item without having a Mythic item.
It's like both having a Mythic item and taking away the Mythic item of your opponent, so...
Kind of similar, yeah. Is it still on Mason? It is. I'm wondering why that's the selection out of everybody. I mean, he is the most farmed, but I don't feel like they're going to be scrapping a whole lot. Maybe he thinks that Mason with his Bodark is the only thing that's really a threat to him and his health pool right now. Which is a fair assessment. I mean, you've got 2 Leandries,
Hexgate flank? Hexgate flank? Oh, he missed the Swirl Seed.
It was almost really cool.
Yeah. I like the idea.
And that is kind of what we're looking for, right? We're at a...
Oh my god!
Lord.
That was unethical.
Hell.
When I become president, that's going to be illegal. Boy.
Yeah, as I was about to say, this is the part where we start looking for something, because... Oh, that's...
That's not what you want to look at, exactly. This is falling apart very rapidly. I'm not really commentating this so much as just going, But it's a double kill for Arch. That was really nicely played by Dorado Gaming. They had a great collapse. Yeah, I don't think Cairo gets like a 1v5 penta here, but I've been surprised at other things. Maybe he's got it.
It does seem fairly unlikely. What I was going to say before that thing that happened, I don't know if I want to call it something and label it then. Is that this is the point in the game where you do kind of need to start looking for something.
Terminate's on a Hypnotic Scruff. Oh, not quite able to get the finish off. That stopwatch coming in clutch. The flash forward from Ramasaur to take down the Gangplank. Did get the shutdown gold, so worth, essentially. Itchy Rat trying to sacrifice himself for the team, and RotM didn't really want to take him for a second. Now Mason able to get the re-engage, gets the double dash onto Arch. Does he have the damage to actually finish off the Sivir, the auto? But the Boomerang Blade return does get it. It's still
well worth.
It's still a shutdown for Mason. He's going to lose his top lane tower, but RTM at least getting some sort of positive gold on the board, and they should be able to get a dragon as well.
They should pick up this drag, unless Loker gets cut off by 9-line Klein here, he should also be able to pick up this tower, which is a decent objective bonus for them as well. All in all, about as good as you could hope for. The only thing that might have been slightly better for Return of the Middle Sticks is if they had actually finished off the mid lane inhibitor. That would have allowed more gold to funnel into Ramasaur here, but it does come with its own slew of problems. We're not quite at... Well, we are now at 20 minutes, but it would have been well before 20 if that had happened.
Good little disengage abilities there from Heimerdoodles to slow up Waterflans and Itchy Rat. Make sure nothing silly happened back the other way, but Hextech Dragon in the pocket and a couple of shutdowns. So ROTM pulls within 8,000 gold, which... not great. Straight up not having a good time, but still alive and still potential to... I don't know. What does their team comp do well?
Pick. It actually has a fair amount of pick. It's also surprisingly good disengage. Not that the type of engage that's coming at you is like ability based. Mostly it's just Sivir pops ult and you get run down by an electric rat and a very angry tree. The silver linings for them are as follows, the way that I see it. One, there is still a couple of standing objectives. Two, they went down so far early that objective bounties have not dropped off yet, so they will get even more gold out of this bot tower that they got out of the mid, and the bonus for killing the dragon as a neutral.
Trying to get a little pick on the itchy rat, not able to find
Not
too
exactly
much.
the target.
Yeah, Swirl Seed over the wall from Heimerduels does spot that they're doing Baron, so they'll call in their boy Mason. Everyone's here except Loker, who's dead.
Ow. The second hand pain.
Yeah, good stun though from Mason. Rimisaur does get canceled. Dashing around Mason, trying to make anything happen. They'll trade 1-for-1 as Kairo's able to go in and find something, but
1 for 3 overall,
Yeah.
and they can go back to the Baron. They only pick up Itchy Rat. That feels pretty bad.
Yeah.
Loker is straight up not having a good time, man. He's got to stop looking for like flank options and start standing behind. I don't know who you even stand behind. That is one issue with the Return of the Middle Sticks' semi-ego draft, is the lack of a solid front line in any traditional
teleport
sense.
in from Loker. He still has ult because he
Yeah,
died
he
so
didn't
fast that he
actually
didn't
use
get to use it.
anything.
Look at the charm onto Maokai in the pit. Heimerduel's very low though. Arch just powers on through. Waterflames is still fine. He'll get the smite on Baron. Goes over to Dorado Gaming Kappa. A little bit of damage onto Hypnotic Scruff. And Arch wants a little bit more. He's just chasing through. But now Remisaur's here to try to turn with the Make It Rain. Loker just barely survives the Boomerang Blade. So they pick up a kill onto Arch. But
Yeah, they
lose
get
the
gifted
Baron.
one by Arch there. That's pretty nice.
Oh, Jesus
Baron
Christ.
The Baron did get onto Itchy Rat, that's how much time they had for it, so it's still 4 Baron buffs up. Nice dodge out there from Ramisaur. I feel like he actually theoretically dies there if he gets hit by that Q.
I don't think it's just theoretically. I'm pretty sure he's just a dead boy, but...
Yeah, there is Hypnotic Scruff's ulti to consider. I figured he was a fair bit away, but you can also just drop a field of slow.
Yeah,
Itchy Rat's in
Itchy
danger?
Rat has been the
He's
one
in danger.
Dorado member who's been not quite in the right places all the time. Being Brahmi's been able to get out most of the time, but does finally pay for it, it looks like. Loker has no real way to clear this minion wave, so that eventually just kills the tower unless somebody else responds.
Yeah, his wave clear isn't quite wave clear until one more item comes through, and I don't know if he's necessarily building towards the item that kills Superman or Baron minions.
He's trying. Boy, is
he's
he
doing
trying.
his best.
Yeah.
We're getting close to 3 items on a couple of characters, notably Ramisaur, who's picked up the majority of the gold since mid-game started, but they're still about 8k behind.
I would like you to take just a gander into Hypnotic Scruff's inventory, though.
Ew. I have several opinions about Gangplank specifically. Gangplank kind of feels like the new Riven, where if you play the character to that, the character is balanced around one tricks. Like standard human beings don't really play Gangplank optimally anymore because they can't unless they put an amount of commitment into that champion.
Well, Hypnotic Scruff demonstrating a lot of Gangplank tactics today. He's pumping out the barrel damage and doing pretty well for himself. Tower does go down on the top lane, so a little objective bounty for Return to the Middle Sticks. Dragon,
There's a bit of an upside, as this dragon's gonna fall number 3 for Dorado Gaming. Now the side lane matchup, assuming that it's 9-line Klein matching Mason, is kind of untenable. Like you don't, it's the same interaction that we were talking about in the laning phase of top lane earlier, where after the ult, 9-line Klein has to leave or he's just dead. That can continue being a pressure point for Return of the Middle Sticks. I just don't know how the 4v4 goes on the other side. We just saw Loker take well over half his health. It was about 65% actually.
And he had the shield up too. So
Yeah, no, that was through
without
the
the
shield
shield,
for
that's
sure.
like 80, 90%. It's not quite
yeah,
a kill, but
it's about 80, I'd say.
oh my fuck!
Oh
Jeez.
man.
All right.
So I started doing that as a meme a long time ago, and now anytime I see a death that happens quite that way, it's just involuntary.
Um, Ramasar's dead. That's
Yeah,
the
and he's
analysis.
not coming back for a little while at least. That
I
hook
feel like when
is
you die
good,
like
but
that,
doesn't matter.
I feel like when you die like that, your death timer is just longer.
It definitely feels longer. This is yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good multi, but there's nothing that Return of the Middle Six is really doing here.
Yeah, well,
Mason's gonna try his luck.
Mason gave it a go. Not really able to find anything. That burn damage was like 300 just on its own. It's a double kill for Hypnotic Scruff, and more or less an ace. Ramasaur's back. He can ult the minion wave. Oh, he actually did quite a bit of damage to Arch, but it's not going to matter. They still have Cannon ult.
Yeah, no, they didn't use that. No, sir.
They still have the Cannon ult available, so Slicing Maelstrom picks up a kill, and Dorado Gaming Kappa is going to take game number 1.
In pretty commanding fashion. I feel like, you know, it's a bit of a cop-out as an analyst to say the first drawing board you have to go back to is draft, but I really do feel like...
He just one-shot him in the fountain!
Yeah, oh, that's rude.
Just...
Is he dead?
He's
okay,
dead.
he does die here.
It's a
for
shot.
that.
I don't know, man.
I'm pretty sure that this does start with a draft drawing board at a minimum.
Yeah.
You've got to figure out a way to not have these team comps be the team comps that you have.
Well, Dorado Gaming Kappa leads 1-0. We'll be right back with game number 2. That was a couple of Gangplank damage, just like a handful.
I haven't quite gotten out to see the. Oh right, I spectated through OPGG. Do I get the number? I just want the number.
25,187.
Yeah,
notably, Sivir actually only did like 200 less, and then no one else is above 16. So.
Seems good. Yeah. Nope, for sure. Huh. Well.
I could just invite you rather than giving you the tournament code.
I already used it.
I don't know why that was my default process for some reason.
I am closing in. I'm just at about 50k. Going straight up. All the way up. Nothing can stop me.
I need to decide what's going to happen when somebody turns in their 69,420.
I think I'm gonna be the first.
I think Lane actually just has a ton of points, but I don't know that he's going to spend them on anything.
Doesn't count. He's Twitch stuff.
Oh,
illegal.
True.
Got API access. He can just give himself 300k. Easy.
Oh, we're running it back on those sides. That's a decision.
Definitely a bit interesting. Okay, there we go. Is there a draft link that you see so far?
I have not seen a draft.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't get to lobby late and miss that, because that would be unfortunate.
I'm gonna walk my dog really quick. If they start, just go for it, I guess. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I'm back.
It's been quiet. We have links. Let's go.
Sure.
Okay, so the adaptation is no Maokai. Seems reasonable.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't see the rest of the draft from game 1 or most of it, so I don't know if the rest of these bans are normal.
Dorado's running it back. RotM has changed up a couple of bans.
They've also banned away the previously their own selection of Misfortune, so that's a pretty Chad lock-in, I guess.
That's a different tree.
We just getting Seraphine Sivir here because that feels like a lot of the pool. I don't know how much Ramesor likes playing Sivir or RotM's bot lane likes playing Sivir at all, but it feels like if you're banning Misfortune, you're probably not leaving that character up. I'm a little bit surprised it wasn't just locked by Dorado.
I mean, they really valued the Ivern pick.
It's a character, surely. That is one of the characters of all time.
Yeah, of the characters in League of Legends, it's one of them. Kindred.
I agree. Mostly because I don't have a choice, but I agree.
I pretend I do not see
it. I reject this reality and I substitute my own. My own being a game where we don't have Gangplank in it again, but we're probably getting that, so.
Yeah. Shout out to Vbon. Thank you for 11 months. That's kind of ridiculous. It's all kind of ridiculous. Anytime people resub and it's just big number. My peanut brain goes hee hoo, big number.
I think I already posted my my resub.
Yeah, that was last week.
I would do it again though. I don't remember what I'm at.
Couple. Jinx from the hit show Arcane is locked in. And
Excellent.
We're going Senna Seraphine.
I don't hate it. It's definitely pretty decent. We're also getting rid of Lulu, so no Lulu Jinx and Ivern shielding on top of each other, which, yeah, that's reasonable. Are you? I guess we just don't like Sylas on principle because you don't really have good Sylas ults to steal.
I'm pretty sure it was RotM that banned Sylas last game. Kind of interesting.
What do you stack more engage? Well, I say more. Do you give engage to the Jinx here, or do we play off the Ivern with one of the remaining shielding supports?
I feel like you want to engage, but maybe I'm wrong.
My character?
Set feels like a pretty good pick here. Not gonna lie.
I actually like Set a lot. Not just because it's Set, like I love the character, more because like I think it's very good into backline. That like if you get a character that you get to dunk on top of Jinx here, it's kind of daring them to pick engage. Because Set will just one-shot Jinx. I've done it countless times. It's not particularly difficult. That's a pretty good answer.
Ah, Renata Gluck.
What do we round this out with? What mid laner makes this like ideal?
I'm pretty sure it's a top lane.
Yeah, that's true. We did see the Gangplank go mid last time, so
I'm pretty sure the
maybe
answer was
just,
Gangplank, but Ornn is acceptable.
yeah, that's pretty acceptable. I don't know what else you would want really. Does sometimes have a little bit of trouble into Set, but only if Set gets early damage or early kills.
And it's not like RotM's gonna pick a tank, so you don't have to worry about being all physical damage.
Right, no, zero shot.
Set's probably the beefiest thing I've seen them play. I'd no longer know what's going on. Set mid?
It's Set mid. Is that what we want into Gangplank, I guess? That's not a good... As a Set player,
right.
that's not fun.
Hear me out. It's Senna Set bottom with Seraphine mid.
I hate that a little bit less, but I also don't really feel like Set gets to do a whole lot in that lane. Well, it remains to be seen.
It certainly does. There's our drafts. Yeah. Gut is that it's slightly less of an ego draft, but still, you don't have traditional team fighting tools necessarily if you're RTM. You don't have like the very standard team composition, whereas Dog does. Once again, they have very easy to execute team comp. It is very easy to see how they play and win team fights.
Yeah, it's very cut and dry for them. It's very boilerplate, and it's very good. The Ivern is kind of like the only wild card here, and even then, it's less wild cardy than it used to be. They've cleaned up a lot of how the character interacts, and now it's just really interesting niche jungle camp versus really interesting niche jungle camp. Because Kindred wants to win the coin flip and get camps, and Ivern is relatively decent at denying those. Doesn't ever fight Kindred, by the way, which is I feel like one of the reasons that was picked. So it is looking like Set mid, unless some swap shenanigans start happening here.
I don't know about Set directly into Gangplank. That seems a little rough.
I can confirm it's definitely pretty rough. It's not necessarily that I'm running out of things to say about these matchups and these champions. It's a lot more that I don't have any to begin with. So
yeah.
It remains to be seen how well these gambles pay off.
Oh. Sorry, I'm mostly just really tired. And that's a core part of my personality now, which is unfortunate because I reached the age of 32 or whatever. I've also reached the age where you don't really know how old you are, you just kind of say, or whatever, at the end of it.
Seems reasonable.
I don't know if you can hear the yips behind me. Kale has his ball on the chair behind me. I looked back at him and he stopped yipping briefly, and then looked directly in my eyes and then yipped at me. So he's
excellent,
clearly having a good time.
Enjoying himself, as it were. Oh man, we get another full 3 minutes.
This is the League of Legends casting experience. Were this a professional stream or something, I'd have like ideas built in, things we could talk about, storylines to hit on. But really, I just don't give a shit, so... Is that mean to say? Boy.
No, I don't feel like it.
And I don't feel like... these team comps are interesting, certainly, but... I don't know, there's only so
there's
much...
absolutely things I could be saying about them, but...
Yeah.
I'm not going to take the time to break down the idiosyncrasies of all of these lanes. I will put it out there that I think Camille is a much better matchup into Ornn than Set is, having played both of those from each side, Ornn into both of them respectively, and then Camille and Set. I touched briefly on the jungle matchup. I've given my piece about how I feel about Set into Gangplank mid. It's bad. This bot lane's a bit of a head scratcher. Senna Seraphine feels like a slow burn lane. Like, unless you play with the really, really aggressive Senna, you're probably not gonna see a whole lot of action.
I just think it's weird. So these lanes always make me think of the, um, my God, what was played with Soda? Soda Terror?
Yep. There was Sona
Ugh.
Taric for a while, and then there was also Sona Seraphine,
Yeah. So
which happened.
those were like you speed up Hecarim, and that's hey, leave the blanket alone, Kale. You can't eat this. This isn't a toy.
On a list of things that are food, this is not food.
Not food, conclusively. Ash, unless you want him eating this blanket. Sorry about that.
Not at all. It does allow us to fill the time a little bit.
Well, I did. Okay. He's just got the zoomies. They came out of nowhere.
He is speed.
He's currently being the fast. I kind of need a dog cam. I realize I'm saying this without context, but he do be zooming. All right, well, we made it into game. Sorry.
We are here.
Sorry to everyone who had to listen to me adjudicate my dog. Adjudicate probably isn't the correct word, but whatever. We're back on the Rift for game number 2.
At least you are... Oh, go ahead. Continue. Your intro.
Dorado Gaming Kappa up 1-0, looking to close out the series on the blue side. RTM's got some ping. Those look pretty good. Mason's on top of the
way
server.
better than mine.
Yeah. I don't want to talk. I've got like 29 or something usually.
I have 73 constant.
How do you have 73? You don't live like that far from me.
Yep.
What internet do you
good.
have? I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Because like it's just a distance thing, right? Like it
should be. It's supposed to be. Definitely, right?
Yeah.
I used to have 56 for a little while, and then we started having internet problems in my building, and we've had so many technicians come out that now we know all three of them by name who service our area. Dustin's probably my favorite. He's the one who actually replaces like the fittings when he's here, because the building is so messed up that
that was a
fittings
visual
just
bug.
die real quick.
Oh, Loker's got the Spirit Blossom set. Let's go. Okay.
Love this skin.
I thought it was Mason's shield just came up as both physical and magic damaged. I'm sure that's just a spectator bug, but I just thought it was weird.
Okay. I hope it is. Otherwise, that's a really, really powerful buff to.
It might have just been that first one. I don't know. Anyway, Dustin replaces the fittings.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, like when he does, he's like, so really, this wiring shouldn't be allowed per our contract with the building, because Spectrum has exclusivity rights to provide internet to this apartment complex specifically. And so, kind of because of that, we can't force their hand, because how else are we going to get internet?
Yeah.
But also, per the terms of the contract, their on-site hardware cannot provide us with what we're paying for. It's a whole thing.
That sounds like
this is
for sure. This is a good invade. Good. Yeah, Waterflans is in a little bit of trouble here. Loker's just chasing him down. We got to be careful. I don't know about this 3v3 necessarily. The shield isn't quite enough. It's first blood. Heimerdiddles dashes over the wall with that dance of arrows. Mason is in looking for Hypnotic Scruff. Gets the auto for the kill. And 9-line Klein, the last one left. Mason hits his Q. Oh, he canceled his auto. Mason? Okay, he's got it. He's got the hook shot out. It's a double kill for Mason. I'm coughing.
Well, if you wanted the game to start well for Return the Metal Sticks, that's how you get it.
Yeah, that's a much better start than last game. Not that last game started terribly, but like, it went terrible pretty fast.
Yeah, but the nice thing about this is the double kill makes it so Mason should basically control the rest of this top lane.
And the red buff on Loker gives him a little bit of extra threat as well in the mid lane, so he can continue pressuring and putting farm in and getting Hypnotic Scruff just a little bit behind, because I think that's all they really needed was a little bit of less time for the Gangplank to be one-shotting people would have been ideal.
Yeah, no, this will definitely help him out a lot. Suddenly, walking up like that is actually quite punishing for Gangplank. Yeah, see, that's good damage trade.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly, he went for the Cull this game, which was something he didn't do last game, so Hypnotic Scruff feeling a little bit pressured, and you can see the CS difference starting to mount as well. Mason
immediately bought it off of his first death, which, you know, when you have that amount of gold, makes sense.
Yeah.
One thing that is really nice about set mid in this scenario specifically is that you don't really have to worry about ganks a whole lot. You actually would kind of rather 1v2 those. It'd take a particularly unfortunate turn of events and rotation for that to go very poorly for you. Otherwise, you know, Ivern doesn't add a whole lot other than some CC and a shield.
So it is the fasting support Senna version for Ramesor. Not farming. Cairo is farming on the Seraphine.
Then we will just be swapping those real quick because I like my scoreboard symmetrical.
I don't care. I mean, I care to an extent, but for this, it's fine. It's the support player, so he can be down there. Heimer's up here in the top lane. Is this really a gank angle?
I mean, you'd have to have 9-line Klein like trade in aggressively. Well, that's a pretty good angle for it.
Yeah, didn't get a whole lot out of it, but at least
not
a little
ton,
bit of damage,
but...
force him back under tower. And it resets the wave, which is important. It means that I don't. Are you scared about Ivern Ornn coming to gank you?
No, but it also does give a lot of space for Waterflans to, or for Heimerdiddles to push Waterflans off of this mark, which is really nice because there's no way 9-line Klein is responding through Mason. So you actually have a lot of priority to get that down.
Yeah, he just
really
got that
ideal.
mark. Is that? Oh my gosh! I'm ruining everything. Okay.
It's mark number 2.
It is 2. Okay, that was what I was trying to check, and then I clicked everything in existence before I actually figured that one out.
Yeah, that's actually really nice. The next mark will be spawning soon. This is the least enjoyable aspect of the set lane, by the way, is running at people, waiting to E them, and then finding out that your E is just slightly out of range. Because the ideal trade pattern, right, is to get the E. Oh, people are in danger.
Itchy Rat in a little bit of trouble. Oh, a great face breaker from Loker. They'll finish off Arch. He'll eventually die. And Itchy Rat can't even get to the wall to flash over. 2 kills for ROTM, and they're at 5-0 now. And look at that. There's a dragon potentially for them, or a third mark for Heimerdiddles.
I'm innovating Ghost set mid again. We're playing it. I really need a season. Like some league, surely some league will take me. Sometime soon.
You lack strategic foresight.
Yeah, could always just climb to plat, you know?
That is so much effort, though. Actually, based off of my current account MMR, I'm pretty sure I can't. Oh,
Water
that's a good
Flames is here in the
flash.
bottom lane. Yeah, Kyra doesn't have any
Kyra's
mana.
still dead. Yeah, Kyra's still definitely
If he had
dead,
mana for
but
ult, I think that this looks a lot different, but Heimerdoodles and Rammus are going to try. They burn down Arch. Itchy Rat in a little bit of trouble as well. There's just no damage between Itchy Flans and Water Rat. The bush? Oh, the bushes are enough to disguise Itchy Rat and get him on out. So just the 1-for-1. Both ADCs falling.
they're gonna get
ADCs
they
falling.
do get to pick up a plate here. No, they're not gonna
Carries.
pick up a plate. Ramsor wants to back, which is fair. This is oh, that mattered. You if you wanted, I guess he wanted that to be the end of the trade. If you don't want that to be the end of the trade, you gotta hold W there, because then this happens to you and you get flash traded on.
Reconnection successful.
Massive.
Pog?
And there he is.
Pog? We're back?
It's absolutely huge.
I'm at 943. I don't know.
I am at 10:01, 10:03, 10:04, 10:05.
Okay, now I can speed up. We're going. Zoom! Okay, 10:10.
Huge.
I don't know what just happened to the stream. Thank you, Xfinity, for your service. Big salutes. Big ups to Xfinity. Almost as good a company as Spectrum.
Almost.
Imagine if there were like 3 tech companies that had a monopoly on internet in the United States. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be real something.
It is.
Really something.
Anyway, and they're all just collectively the worst company in America.
Yeah, I'd buy that. That's pretty accurate.
I think Xfinity is actually the winner, with EA second, and Spectrum and Time Warner were like top 5. So that was a Jinx Rocket. Why was
They're
that
not
a Jinx
quite-
Rocket?
Yeah, I'm not positive. They're not quite ubiquitous enough, but my parents' only option for internet is CenturyLink, which is somehow significantly worse than
Yeah, they're like
any of the internet I deal with.
they're like, I don't want to say old school, but like CenturyLink is like a different. They're not trying to be competitive for the best internet. They're just like, this is the internet service you have available at CenturyLink. Good luck.
Yeah.
This is a fight that's happening. Loker. Oh my god, that was actually a lot of damage from the Senna ult. It's a double kill for Heimerdoodles, and Waterflans and Arch have to kite themselves away. Wouldn't it be great if you had like maybe a long-range rocket that did AoE damage and had an execute on it at this point? That'd be weird. Triple kill for Heimerdoodles, and now 9-line Klein looking to get Mason. That's a really good Hextech ultimatum from Mason, but I don't know that it saves him. It apparently does.
It does.
All right.
Nice.
That couldn't have gotten much better for our RTM. 3 kills for 0, and they're going to drop Rift Herald mid and get the first tower, I guess. Sure. Why not?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
look at another mark. And now 9-line Klein really can't be here after this teleport. Heimerdoodles could just dance over the wall and kill him, although I don't know that they're aware exactly where he is. Otherwise, that was almost certainly a Heimerdoodles kill. How many marks is he at? I'm scared to click on him and ruin everything again.
He's at 5.
5
which,
marks.
is pretty close to the magic number.
Isn't 4 the magic number?
They've changed this character so many times.
Oh, it was 4 and then 7.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It was 4 and then every 3. I'm pretty sure. I could like read his passive on stream. Oh, the pillar disappeared. Very sad. Every 3 marks after the 4th. Yep. After 4 marks, and then every 3 marks after the 4th. So 4, 7, and 10. Very important. 13, I guess, but that's like an anomaly. Very tough to get 13 marks in a game.
True.
this is definitely top lane happening right now. Dragon goes over to ROTM. They're at 2 now. Mason is not winning these trades, but this is kind of how this matchup goes. He needs another item, and then he'll be fine. Usually, Itchy Rat's in a lot of trouble. I'm not going to get to talk about Camille, which is like one champion I can talk a little bit about. Heimerdiddle smites away Daisy because you can do that for some reason. And now he's over the wall and finds water flans there. Arch and Itchy Rat are both here. It's a 4v2 briefly, but Heimerdiddle's staying alive, has the Lamb's Respite. There's a lot of invulnerability and things happening, but Loker is going to be the one that picks up the kill. The Jinx Rocket finishes off another one. 2 for 1 for ROTM as a result of that one, but the shutdown goes to Arch.
Yeah. Maybe a minor overextension, but nothing too egregious.
Loker's still looking
That's
for
really
it.
nice.
In comes the Dawning Shadow, and the dunk kill for Loker. That's a hard one to get in
That's
your
that's an
Eternals.
Eternal.
Yeah. And now Hypnotic Scruff has the stopwatch. Loker should be fine. I think he's fine.
Yep.
Oh, maybe he's not. Yeah. That's a little unfortunate. Cairo and Rims
So
are still
that's
continuing
unlucky.
to
He has to get outside of the turret range before he pops the shield. So you actually end up running away from the tower shot while it's in the air for a little while. And I do mean it like a very small amount of time, but just enough to get outside of the tower range, because it'll hold you in place long enough for another tower shot to go off. It's fun like that.
Yeah, just a little misplay there from Loker, and it's a shutdown to Hypnotic Scruff, which is not exactly who you want to give a shutdown to. Water Flame's able to secure his own blue buff. That was actually a really good... I have no idea what his Q's called. I was thinking of it, and I have no idea. Root Collar. It's Root Collar. I actually have that one. 9 Klein uses the Ram Horn. They get the knock-up onto Heimerdiddle's Jinx Rocket. Oh, just a little wide. He's been very accurate on those cross-map. Mason not quite able to find water flans on the outside of this. 9 Klein very low. They'll get Mason low and take him down. It's a shutdown going to Ornn. And now Loker in a little bit of trouble trying to get back away, but now Heimerdoodles is able to rejoin with Cairo, but Arch over the wall just has a couple of rockets. Ramasaur on the flank as well looking to join. Everyone is so low on Dorado, but no one has fallen, and Arch is here just to ward away Ramasaur and make sure that the rest of them can't get in. Now Heimerdoodles gets a couple of autos through. Ramasaur over the wall. Cairo looking for any damage. Can they finish off these kills? They finally get Itchy Rat. Arch is going to fall as well. Double kill for Heimerdoodles, and the Seraphine picks up the last one. ROTM somehow wins that fight. 4 for 3? 4 for 2? It was a mess.
It was definitely a mess, and felt like it lasted way longer than it should have for a fight at this stage of the game, but they do come out significantly ahead, and now this is going to be yet another mark in the pocket for Heimer, and that's well, that's 7. That's the funny number.
That's
right
7. How many does Ramasaur have?
That's a good question. We are playing double stacks. He's at 52, so
52. That's not too bad.
no, a little off schedule, but not by a lot.
For support Senna in a double ranged lane, that seems pretty okay.
Next objective is going to be this Hextech Dragon in exactly 2 minutes. Almost exactly 2 minutes.
What? 105? 106?
Wait, I'm way off time. I'm doing math that doesn't need to be done. It's not 120 seconds. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds. I'm really
Okay.
on one today. I did go to bed at 6 a.m., which is both my fault and not my fault, but yeah.
That's okay. I don't think I can actually talk about the math I did at work today. Anyway, Heimerdoodles is going to kill Hypnotic Scruff. That's just a solo bolo for Heimer. But now he's got to try to navigate the Gangplank ult and the rest of Dog over there waiting for him. They'll get the pull-in from Loker. Big chain of ultimates. It's a double kill for Heimerdoodles. The Senna ult, or the Renata ult, whatever champion that is able to slow up the onslaught of ROTM. It's a triple kill for Heimerdoodles. And Dragon? Question mark? Red buff? There's a Rift Herald?
I feel like it's Yeah, I feel like it's an angle where you just have one person take drag. You've so many people off the map, you can definitely get quite a bit here. Including but not limited to this tower specifically. And probably the inhibitor? No, you're gonna, I mean, yeah, it's too early, you leave that.
Yeah, they'll get
Good
the
call.
the Sheila charge, excuse me, into the rift or into the inhibitor. There's a lot of words happening, and I don't have all of them in the right order right now for some reason. Dragon eventually goes down. Our team now on Hextech Soul Point and up 8,000, which is about where the game was at the other way in game number 1. So two not very close games to start out with, but we'll see if our team can clean it as can close it as cleanly, can clean it as closely as Dorado Gaming did in game 1.
Can clease it as clonely.
Too true.
That one's pretty cursed, I didn't like that a whole lot.
I now want to know what the...
Ramasaur, deathless. I just noticed that he hadn't died yet. So he's aiming for a perfect game here on the Senna.
Yeah, kind of letting the team down. Everyone else has chipped in a death or two. Heimerdiel's just like 3-shot Daisy. That was kind of impressive.
Yeah, he's mildly terrifying at this point in time.
Yeah, he's got his Phantom Dancer. He's almost... he should have combined gold for IE now. Oh, he's very close. 100 off. As I was mentioning earlier, and now this top lane matchup is going to get better for ROTM as well, because Mason has almost finished up. Once you get your Tiamat, it starts feeling playable. Ideally, you go Ravenous Hydra into Ornn, so you get your Vamp Scepter, and then you actually just start winning trades. It's kind of remarkable. But yeah, also might have been a Sunder angle, worth noting. Water Flames is in trouble. Mason just used a Cho'Gath ult on him, but Hypnotic Scruff has used one back. Oh my god. That was a lot of damage from Hypnotic Scruff. He's trying to get away from Loker, though. Gets pulled in, gets slam-a-jammed, and taken down by the Haymaker of Loker.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the... Hypnotic Scruff still doing Gangplank things.
Yeah,
despite not quite having the scoreline he did last game. He does have several cloaks in his inventory.
Yeah, that was still a very impressive little combo and damage onto Mason, so definitely getting there. Do you like this build from Loker? How do you feel about...
This is one of my favorite set builds if you don't have a proper tank, which they don't. It allows you to do fun stuff like this, where you're just under the tower not caring at all.
Yeah. Tower gonna go down. Our team continues to extend their lead now to 12,000, and Heimerdiel's and the boys continue to push in, just fishing for some damage. They have the Baron buff on them, which I didn't notice them pick up, I think, so that's kind of interesting.
It wasn't a very...
Oh, we saw the Gangplank ult in there, and then that was
Yeah.
when the Gangplank fight was happening. They got Baron. I didn't even announce that on stream. That's how inconsequential it felt.
It wasn't a happening affair.
Yeah, a lot of minions coming into the base right now. In comes the Ornhorn, though, looking to turn. They'll lock up Loker to start out with, but he's got a shield on top of a shield on top of a shield, and now he'll dunk down 9-line Klein. He'll get the reset, though. Stay alive. He did fight rather than die, but unfortunately Arch didn't, so they're missing Jinx from the hit show Arcane. Mason's into the backline. See, he's got 2 shields. That was kind of weird. I don't know if you have the same visual bug, but he had both the magic and the physical damage shield there for a second.
I only see the magic one, which is weird because...
Yeah, it's just both colors, like split in half.
Huh.
That was weird. It happened again on that particular proc of it, but Heimerdiel's is trying to do the reverse thing of Hypnotic Scruff and farm them on the fountain on the other side of the map. But they'll continue to work their way through the Nexus Towers. Arch looking for the save of the game, but Lamb's Respite is going to be enough to keep them alive and take down the Nexus for game number 2. And we are going to game number 3.
Yeah, arguably even more commanding of a turn from Return of the Middle Sticks in Game 2, and now it's Dorado's turn to adapt. I don't. That's a tough one because it feels like you did the same thing that you did last game to much worse effect.
Was it the Ego Ivern? Is that what doomed them? Who knows?
Maybe? I don't really feel like it was. I feel like the bot lane just went way better for Return of the Middle Sticks this time. Also, they did get like 3 level 3 kills, level 2 kills. Never hurts.
Yeah. Oh, I hate this. Sorry. You have to, as someone streaming, you aren't allowed to play the music in the client. And I have it on by default, and it's on by default. So you have to immediately click off of the home screen. Otherwise you can get DMCA'd. Fun fact.
Fun fact,
You
I
get
guess.
DMCA'd by the Riot client. Thank you.
Keck. That's really something. My food was supposed to be here some time ago.
Yeah.
Which is a bit unfortunate.
What did we order?
Chinese.
Chinese.
Saves well. Wanted to get 2 meals out of this one.
Oh, I need to invite you to this one. I didn't give you that thing. Sorry. Sorry, eh?
Oh, you're good.
There's a draft link for you.
Thank.
I don't know about this Champs Select music. So we've been listening to the World's 2022 Champions Select music. This one's okay. It's just weird. It's got like a, like, I'm sure it's a bell of some sort, but it just sounds like they're hitting just a metal pole
Interesting.
as part of the instrumentation. What do you play in the band? Oh, I play the metal pole.
Needs more cowbell.
What do you play in the band? Oh, I play the cannon.
Is one of my favorite and arguably one of the last good SNL bits, in my opinion.
Not that I've watched enough SNL ever to be even remotely knowledgeable about it.
Classic SNL pretty good. Modern SNL pretty political.
I guess I have seen a couple old ones. Celebrity Jeopardy. Very funny.
News segments, very, very funny.
Oh, they said R. Have they started? Oh my god.
Ah! Ah!
Well, we're
Okay, well,
we're with it.
uh,
Okay.
there
Welcome
are
back.
no
Game number 3.
adaptations except for the Heimerdinger or the Heimerdoodle's Kindred ban, which seems reasonable. I don't remember what we dropped for it.
They
but
dropped
I'm sure it was important.
Aatrox. Mason's Aatrox. You know, Mason has
Oh,
a really
hey,
deep
it's-
champion pool. He can play
Yeah.
Justicar Aatrox, Mecha Aatrox, Blood Moon Aatrox, Cosmic Aatrox, and much more Aatroxes.
Yeah, and we still get Seraphine. So there was at one point in time a B1 Sejuani that happened. Silas notably making his way onto the Rift for once instead of getting banned second rotation. Kaisa is here for some reason. Set's back.
I don't
love
know about
that.
for some reason. She just got buffed again, despite already being the premier AD carry on the patch. Got another buff.
Make Kaisa good again.
She is. There's a Kled in my video game. Who is the support?
Yeah, you clearly weren't watching enough Gold League. Wait, we had Kled in our video.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we never had Kled in our video game.
Kled was on the ban list for the most part, thanks to
For pretty much all of the video game.
Sejuani support. Who's jungle?
Alright.
It feels like Sejuani's the only one that can jungle and support in this team comp that has been built. I'm about to be
Support
proven
Silas.
horribly wrong, but like, there's no change in the chat, by the way. This is just the team comp that Dorado Gaming has picked. RotM, they're playing Ashe Seraphine bottom. Presumably Set is going back for Loker because why not? That seemed good. You have Mason's Aatrox, and then you got Heimerdoodles on his Nidalee after everything else had been banned. So
There was an R in the chat. I wonder if they started yet or not.
That's
What do you mean everything else had been banned? Like,
Oh, the
Lilia is
and the
up?
Kindred and the Graves.
Okay, yeah, that's
Lilia is up and Nidalee's up.
fair.
And what else have you seen him play? That, like, more or less, he's played a couple of other champions. Like, I'm not gonna, man, Heimerdoodles has no champion pool. But, like, the things that he likes to play, they're all represented there.
For the most part, yeah, you're right. There.
Um,
That's reasonable.
I need the client one. This one. Okay. What a draft for game number 3, though. What a banger.
I'm really so curious where any of Dorado Gaming's champions are.
Can Silas jungle right now? Is that like a thing that happens?
Maybe.
Because I know it was for a little bit.
I feel like I would have seen it before watching it get pulled out in game 3 of a first place clinch match.
Yeah, again, this is more than likely for... I don't know where my voice just went. This is more than likely for a first round bye. And this is game 3 of this series. So the last game that determines whether you get the first round bye or not. Sejuani jungle.
It is Silas support.
Silas support.
Let's go! Maybe you're just stealing Seraphine ults and such. Like, that seems good.
I mean, Seraphine Ashe ults, like, why leave the bottom lane? The rest of the map doesn't really do much for you. Like, Set ult's fine, but Aatrox and Nidalee are both trash, so...
Am I to accept then, as God's own truth, that the sea's very own Abominable and Chittering Roach was the one who took Walk into hand and fried this rice? In completely unrelated news, my shrimp fried rice is here.
Oh, we went with
grab
the
that.
shrimp fried rice? Okay.
It's pretty good.
Shout out to Matsuro for the resub, by the way. 13 months is also a big number and kind of ridiculous. I really appreciate the support from everyone, even though I haven't streamed that much this month, so... Yeah, these are definitely drafts for game number 3. Itchy Rat on the Silas.
Oh no, they are swapping. I'm seeing swaps here. Nope, no swaps. Never mind.
I didn't see a swap, so I was concerned about where you were seeing them. Oh, I didn't put
You
the...
know?
There's the client, by the way. Sorry. There we go. Now it all makes slightly more sense for the viewers. I've been bad at switching scenes recently. I used to be unstoppable, and now I'm
You're just
merely
out of
slightly
practice.
stoppable.
Oh.
That's really kind of you to say. Yeah, 8 seconds, 7 before it locks in, and there will be no swaps. So yeah, Itchy Rat confirmed on the Silas. I don't know if this league has a rule where you have to play it support, or if we're gonna see people move around, but like, presumably, that's Silas support.
Sure. Yeah, you know, why not?
I
don't know how I'm supposed to analyze that lane, by the way. I also don't feel like Akali's like an insane answer in this set, but you are unlikely to ever get hit by W, so that's pretty nice.
honestly don't love any of these lanes for Dorado Gaming. I think Kled is a great matchup into Aatrox though.
Yeah, Kled Aatrox is a banger, for sure.
That one feels pretty good for Kled, and if he can get a lead on Mason's Aatrox, that would be very good to set tone and tempo for the game. But yeah, like you said, Akali doesn't beat Set. Also doesn't have like the most assassinable targets on this team. But with so many divers, like with Sejuani, Kled, and Silas and Akali all going in, and then you just throw Kaisa on top of it, why not? You just dive and hope that you can kill Ashe and Seraphine before they get shielded and healded and do the things.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much all dive, but it's it's unfortunately very linear dive. Like, you're diving straight into Seraphine ulti for the most part. One of you is getting peeled away by Set, at least. Nidalee's a bit of a question mark for me, but it's Heimerdoodle's playing it, so it's at the same time not. Like, it doesn't fit into this comp, but Heimerdoodle's playing Nidalee, so.
Yeah, you take those. Like, honestly, it's a decent amount of comfort this game for Return of the Middle Sticks in Game 3. Somehow they've, I don't want to say mind-controlled Dorado Gaming into it, but like, Mason's Aatrox with Heimerdoodle's and Nidalee, and you got the Seraphine, like, that's... You usually can't ask for all three of those things in the same draft if you're Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, you typically don't get to, but in this case they did, so.
Well, will it be another easy set for Dorado Gaming, or will Return to the Middle Sticks have their first undefeated split in a minute? I don't want to say how long it's been, but it's been a bit since we've had a really dominant team. I was going to look at the trophy case to tell me, and then I realized that that's probably not going to help. So,
Seems unlikely.
and our
But
GM team in Runeterra Academy was pretty good. I don't know if they were undefeated though. I don't know. It's been a minute. Yeah, here we go. Game number 3. It's for all the Tostitos.
The Tostitos Bowl. Oh, we totally forgot one of the champions in Mason's pool. Lunar Eclipse Aatrox.
I said Cosmic because I couldn't think of what the skin was called, but
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know the skin lines nearly well enough to actually list off all of Aatrox's skins.
so the only one I missed Blood Moon Prestige, and then the one where he's a pirate. I have no idea what that was called.
It's not Sea Dog. It was before Sea Dog, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like Rogue. Well, the Garen skin with it is Rogue Admiral, which I know for some reason, and then the Quinn one with it is like
Something Corsair.
yeah.
Dread Corsair.
So it's something
Quinn.
stupid like that.
Yeah.
And Winged isn't here to just list out all of the Aatrox skins, so. Winged, our resident Aatrox expert. Man played old Aatrox. That was his thing. Was he played Floppy Sword Aatrox?
Oh, apparently there is also an Odyssey Aatrox, but the one that we were
Oh
looking
yeah,
for is Sea Hunter.
Sea Hunter.
Yep,
He do be hunting the sea for sure.
absolutely.
All right, we're in. Game number 3. It's Aftershock Silas. He's got a stopwatch. That's what I've got for you.
I mean, like, depending on how the game starts out and what ults he's able to steal, it could be really annoying. But I just don't think that it's better than playing any other traditionally good engaged support. like, is there any world where that's not just Leona or a Mumu and it's way better?
Oh, Skarl's health bar is also half and half, magic physical. Huh.
Interesting. I guess that's just
It's just my particular spectator
a
bug.
weird display. No, I have it.
Okay.
I have it on that one.
Oh,
It's just a
Heimerdiddles
weird.
is going to walk into Waterflands. This actually might be a little trouble for Heimerdiddles as he gets slowed. Never mind. There's enough. I don't even know. Everyone's walking at each other. There's a lot of things happening. Loker goes in, hits the Facebreaker, and Waterflands has to leave. Do they get anything off of that? I don't think so.
Waterflands is flash for Loker's
Well,
Ghost.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
that's a pretty good trade, but other than that, no, not really. Waterflands didn't get the recall off though, so he's popped both of the potions and he's running to Raptors. He's running to Raptors. Okay, all right. Yep.
That seems rough. This feels like a rough clear for Sejuani. I think you can do it, but
with
like
no refillable, yeah, it kind of sucks actually. You've also already used Smite, so
if
yeah, no, it definitely kind of sucks.
if our team could somehow gain awareness, you just walk in there and kill him because what's he gonna do about it? You know? What are you gonna do? Stab me?
What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Quote from the man stabbed. Yeah, look at
One of
what
my personal favorites.
he's at a health right now in his own jungle.
Yeah, I know. He's recalling here at level 2. Like,
2
there's
from
so
Itchy
much
Rat.
off of that.
They're gonna ignite Cairo, and that's it.
I mean, that is something that's kind of nice about this is that like Silas is a deceptively tanky champion with the extra healing he gets, and he's very annoying. Like, definitely incredibly very annoying. Haha, funny character.
True. He do be stealing the ultimates too. It's funny when he trolls them by stealing the ultimates, and he went the like weird battle cat skin that shouldn't exist.
I hope Silas wins. People get so trolled when he steals their ultimates. He's also an angsty former convict rebel just like me.
XD. That all checks out. Heimerdoodles has to check out of that fight. Has to flash away. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow this has worked out okay for Waterflands. Like, he hasn't lost a whole lot, and now he might even get
not
the kill
working
on
out
the Heimerdoodles.
particularly
Yeah.
well for Heimerdoodles, but apparently he's out of there because we're now watching top lane.
Yeah, Mason pulls back in 9-line Klein, not quite able to knock him off of the Lizard.
No lizard removal for you.
Bear Trap on a rope doing quite a bit of damage.
So much.
Ooh. Yeah, Mason gets that level up, which actually might make sure that 9-line Klein doesn't, flash pocket pistol him or something silly. He's still sticking around, which feels a little risky. Loker is just...
Feels like something I would do.
Yeah.
Ouch. That was so immediate.
Yeah. There's no way to deny that one, honestly. Loker with a good trade in mid there, but Waterflands is hanging around. They could potentially look. You stack the Sejuani passive pretty fast with most of the team, which is also a benefit of having 4 melee characters. Something that they will have to watch out for, they don't clear waves particularly well, if at all. Dive in the top lane potentially, but that's not important right now. What is important is this bottom lane apparently, and Ichirat has to flash away after being exhausted. More autos from Heimerdoodles, just applying that red buff. Dash in, and they'll pick up first blood. Mason, though, looking for Water Flans, pulls him back in. Does he have it? He just doesn't have the healing. The Conqueror proc isn't quite enough to save him, and 9-line Klein dashes in for the kill. Now Hypnotic Scruff looking for Loker. Not going to look for Loker. Looking for Loker. He went Conqueror on Akali.
He's definitely Schrodinger's looking for Loker right now. Because if Loker uses anything relevant and misses, this is definitely killable for Akali. But Heimerdoodles is here to make sure Loker does not get dove upon. Yeah, Mason staying there definitely an oath type of move. In my defense, it does work out sometimes, right?
It almost worked out for him there. Like, he almost killed Water Flans, but just not quite enough. Heimerdoodles playing with fire a little bit so that Loker can come over and try to help him out. They'll pull him back in. Loker picks up the kill, and Hypnotic Scruff has to use his Shuriken flip on out of there.
It is an affectation of a lot of Return of the Middle Sticks top laners.
Oh, damn! There were 3 of them. Oh
man,
the W wasn't enough damage. The auto attack from Cairo though was. So they do trade 1 for 1 in that situation, which could have gone much worse. Could have gone a little bit better as well. There's a lot of high skill cap champions in this game, so I feel like all the fights are going to be like that as long as the game's relatively even. But well played by Hypnotic Scruff to get the kill, and then almost well played to get out, but just got chased down by the last auto from Cairo.
Yeah.
Cairo's 2-0 on the Seraphine, by the way. He's not farming this game, but
it's never bad to have gold on that champion, I've found, no matter what items you're building on it.
Loker's just going to have to leave. I don't
That's
think he can really
fun.
stick around. Yeah. I hope Akali wins. I love when people get so trolled by the Shroud. I'm not doing this for every champion. I'm sorry. I'll cease that immediately. 9-line Klein is back on the Lizard.
I do remember a cast of a tryout game at one point in time. I believe I was on like Lux Mid or something like that. This was a couple of seasons ago. But I stayed under tower with like 50 HP. And you and Winged made a comment about how it's probably a poor decision, but Oath does this a lot. And then I ended up picking up the kill on whoever it was due to some error they made. And my favorite reply was your call was, well, when the opponent doesn't have hands, you can get away with that, I suppose. Notably not the case in this game, and probably one of the reasons I only ever played up one split.
Yeah. Hello? Kale wanted to join the cast briefly. Sorry. Ooh, Mason's on 97 ping now. He's trying to beat your high score. I looked up in the corner to see what my ping was, and of course it's a perfect 0 because I'm on the spectator client.
Mm-hmm.
Really unbeatable. That's a good pose for the Q3 on Mason. He's got a dash out. 9-line Klein? Okay, he needed one more auto. This is actually a little bit risky of a gank right now for Heimerdoodles because Mason can't really follow up, and if he does, like 9-line Klein can remount pretty easily. Yeah, there it is. 1 tower or 2 tower attacks.
I was a little surprised 9-line Klein didn't do that. Like if he flash autoed and then pocket pistoled, he gets Scarl 100%, and then he's got Scarl's abilities to continue chasing Mason off. 2 dashes, bear trap and a rope. It's a kill. But he probably does get cleaned up at that point in time by Heimerdoodles, so.
Yeah, I think that was always the risk, was he didn't want to go too aggressive because Heimerdoodles was off map at the time. Anyway, Rift Herald started up for Dorado Gaming Kappa. This game much closer than the first 2 games were. And we are pretty much even right now at 9.5 minutes, which is nice to see. You always like that in a game 3.
Yeah, way more interesting. That was a war crime.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Hypnotic Scruff died. That's what I got. I
also
actually didn't
don't
see
really
it
feel like
'cause
he
I
got
was-
to do anything about dying.
Yeah. A lot of people would say that that's just what you deserve if you play Akali. Mason is just getting the treatment up in top lane. Waterflans has not really left his lane. And might even drop the Rift Herald up there. Heimerdiel's looking for Arch, not quite able to find the spear. You always love the 3 auto attack electrocute proc on the AP champion.
Mm-hmm. Huge fan of that.
Loker and Heimerdiel's going for the dive, potentially, here at the pool. Loker pulls him in. Arch, that was a really good flash by Kaisa, was able to just save that long enough, but now HE Rat is in trouble. Ramesor picks him up, has to flash over the wall, but that tower shot is just enough as Hypnotic Scruff cleans up another kill. Double kill for Akali, and good response by Dorado Gaming Kappa. It looked like a good dive for Return to the Middle Sticks, but turns out 1 for 2.
Yeah, turned it back around really quickly by Hypnotic Scruff there. I always love that interaction where you've got set ult buffered on somebody, and then they flash into range or dash, and it's immediately popped. It's exactly what happened to Arch there as he tried to Killer Instinct out of that dive experience.
Ooh, Mason's up to 123 ping now. That's just climbing. He should probably shut the window. He's letting all the Wi-Fi out. Top lag. all
And
caps.
maybe he paused to go close the window.
We'll take just a little step away. Close game. So don't want to do anything that might jeopardize the competitive integrity of this game 3. It's exciting though. Groups start tomorrow for Worlds. It's Friday. My birthday's in a week. It's pretty great.
Oh, nice. Happy early birthday.
Thanks. It's next Friday.
Your birth happens to be in the almost dead center of Throw Short People month, which is October.
Oh, excellent.
You are legally obligated or allowed, at least by contract, to throw anyone 5'6" or under, as far as you want.
I can throw myself, unfortunately. So,
Got him.
Yeah. Also, just kind of I don't know if this is the same for a lot of people. Just kind of an insane month for birthdays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people be fucking around
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Yep.
It's almost to the day. Because it's about the usually third or fourth week of October.
Yeah. I was background, I guess. I was born 6 weeks premature. I was supposed to be born on Thanksgiving, and that didn't work out. Instead, my birthday's October 14th. So, not only lucky to be alive, but also now anachronistic. So, that's neat. I'm apparently lagging a little bit. Thank you, Spectrum. But Mason has used the World Ender back away. 9-line Klein might be in a little bit of trouble. Gets pulled off of Skarl. Waterflans just drops Shelly right in his face. That was an aggressive move, and he's going to take a Q3 for it. Mason just trying to clean up Shelly as best he can. 9-line Klein's going to remount, and that could spell a lot of trouble for him. Waterflans tanking the tower. They will finish off Mason, and Sejuani's able to get out. But in the bottom lane, the Spear finds Arch for the kill, and we might as well just have this map split bottom and top rather than than by the river. Oh, Loker's actually up in top lane. I don't think that he can do a whole lot here. He's trying. Bless him, he's trying to help out his buddy
So,
Mason. And
That was
it's
a
not going to work
good
out.
flash out from Waterflans there, but you can only really do that if you don't burn flash that way. So
Hypnotic Scruff's going Night Harvester.
it's a bit unfortunate. It did recently get buffs, but I still feel like that's wrong. Mostly because you get a lot of free pen off of having belt. And free pen is nice for assassins.
I also just feel like, well,
Also, it's really nice for Akali to get the bonus movement speed and movement off of belt to get in range for autos. But you know, if you can just kill them without having to use autos, maybe that's better.
yeah, I still feel like it's the third best mythic on Akali, but
Or we Riftmaker simps in this house.
I do love me some Riftmaker. I really
It is
liked
a
what Mason
pretty
did in the
good
top lane, by the way. He's now 1 and 2 and into the game, so that feels pretty good.
He's gaming.
He is gaming. Loker in a little bit of trouble here. Still holding on to his W, gets stunned. The Ash ult just a little wide. That might have been nice to turn everything with. Cairo is here. He's just going to provide a nice supportive shield, and they'll head on out. I haven't seen
Speaking
too much
of people
from
with
this.
a Night Harvester, Heimerdoodles has finished his up as well, which is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, Loker is probably dead. Oh, he dodged it? Okay, he's still dead. That was a good
He's
look.
still dead, but that was nice.
Yeah. Good look. You take that.
Tier 1 Kled ultimate, I think that was about 4 total feet in the Imperial measurement system. However, it does get him out of the chains, so
Infernal Chains, yeah. I haven't seen too much out of this support Silas. Kind of curious.
I expected him to be taking a little bit more. I don't know why, but I kind of expected him to take a little more tanky of a route. I mean, I guess it wouldn't make any sense for him to go a tank mythic, but yeah, I'm not sure. He doesn't seem to have too much game impact, at least not at this time.
I don't have like a thing I thought he was gonna do. I'm just more interested in what he did, I guess. So
Yeah, that's fair.
this is where we're at. I don't know that I have a judgment on it. Just that he has bought a chapter that was previously misplaced and some boots.
We just got there. A chapter that was previously misplaced.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yep. That's still good. Still. Yep.
It's a
Still pretty good.
500 gold lead for Dorado Kappa. They got too many teams. A little upset at Dorado. They used to all have nice acronyms. They'd like be Dorado Sigma, so it'd be dogs. They had dog with 2 G's. They had doggo. And then they just kind of ruined it. Now they've got like dog K and dog Q and dog.
Too many players to field.
Yeah.
A lot of Return of the Middlesticks players down here around this tower and bot, but they don't have a wave, so I don't know if they're doing anything other than maybe picking up this tower and getting a lot of early prep for this dragon that's in 1 minute.
Yeah, it does put them on point, which is Mountain Soul, if I'm not horribly mistaken.
You don't seem to be horribly mistaken.
We are dead even in gold. That's remarkable. There's barely hundreds of gold in between the two teams. No towers.
We're also dead even in kills. No towers. There are 2 dragons to 2 Rift Heralds, so that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
It's about as even as you could ask this game to be at 18-18.
Yeah, this second Rift Herald is going to give us a little advantage. The first tower is going to go down. Oh, the second tower also is going to go down, as the tower top lane is actually first. Mason looking for the turn. Do they have anything? They get the Infernal Chains onto Itchy Rat. Looking for him. The Assault lands. They'll take down the Silas to start out with. Settled into the backline from Loker, looking for Arch. Can't quite track down the Kaisa. Does he have anything left in the tank? It doesn't look like it. Really good stun onto Aatrox meant that he couldn't land all of that damage. Loker falls. It's 2 for 1. In comes Hypnotic Scruff, looking to turn it back around. Gets knocked up by Mason, able to dash out with the E. And that's all. That's it. 2 for 1. Our team going to head to the Dragon, and we'll see if Dog wants to try to re-engage. 9-line Klein is very low. Doesn't have the mount right now, so this is probably not contestable for Dorado Gaming, and they look like they know that one. They're going to hand it over to Return of the Middle Sticks and just try to get some pressure in a couple of lanes.
Yeah, that seems entirely reasonable. So it will be incoming soul point for Return of the Middle Sticks, which is pretty nice. You do drop a little bit of gold, but not a whole lot, honestly. You got a decent amount out of that last exchange there, despite your towers going down. And
Ooh, Assault lands onto Itchy Rat into the Seraphine ult. He is dead.
oof, that's I mean, it's a lot of resources, but man, the Silas support is not having a good day. 0-4, no stopwatch to his name now. Difficult for him to really get a whole lot done. I don't know who wins this anymore.
I think
I feel like
does.
Loker's a little bit too strong for the rest of this to go well. But with his W down, he does need to be a little bit careful.
This one I think is much more interesting, because I think Mason wins it if he can land Qs, but he has not been able to. And 9-line Klein's been doing a great job dancing in and out of his range and being generally very annoying on the Kled.
Very true. Yeah, he's that is a lot more interesting of a matchup to watch. It's not necessarily even more nuanced than Set versus Akali is, but it is definitely more entertaining. That is without a doubt.
Well, I don't know that I have a whole lot else to say. Just take a quick peek at some of these items. The Anathema's again for water flans. He really likes rushing that one, which is, I believe, kind of the build of choice for pro junglers right now, but it's just kind of interesting. Usually you don't see a lot of amateur junglers really favor that item.
Yeah, not that many. It is like for gold value, it is incredibly effective.
Oh, Heimerdoodles
Very
is in
gold
quite a
efficient
bit of
item.
trouble. The Assault not quite going to land. Heimerdoodles has to dash on out, and he'll get executed by Hypnotic Scruff. The Silas Seraphine ult sails just a little bit wide, and Itchy Rat's going to fall. Good stall on the engage of Mason, and in comes Kled from the side. He's charging on in. Not going to find a target, though, so he just sails on through the fight. Stun from Waterflans. Arch dashes in. He'll take down Cairo. The Loker's ult pulls Arch into tower range, and he'll finish him off with the Haymaker. Waterflame's low. Ramesor finishes him off. Slows
That's
land
winnable.
onto 9-line Klein. It's 2v2 right now. Ramesor and
Very
Loker
winnable.
versus Hypnotic Scruff and 9-line Klein. Hypnotic Scruff hits the ease in onto Ramesor. The cleanse, I don't know that was needed, but the Haymaker from Loker finishes that one off, and it's just the Kled left. He's got so much health as he kites back away. He'll get the bear trap on a rope. He'll get dismounted in just a second. Loker can't quite pull him in. Ramesor not feeling really comfortable to step up. Now 9-line Klein walks up. Assault. Oh, if that had hit, I think we're seeing the further engage, but that'll be it. 4 for 3 in favor of Return to the Middle Sticks, and just a slobber knocker around that mid lane.
Yeah, Loker played that really, really well. It was looking pretty doomed until he hit that ult onto Arch. Arch just doesn't have a way out of that at the moment. Not a whole lot he can do after Killer Instinct was burned, no flash to his name. And that was pretty much a fight scenario in which Hyradoodles didn't get to participate. Like, he didn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
Kind of just died.
Yep, died. Tried to walk away. That was the extent of it. Waterflan's in the pit, does have the Arctic Assault back out. Mason on the other side, just trying to make his life miserable. Hits the Blast Cone out, but Loker's on the other side. Cairo is over the wall, just trying to help out Asholt. Lands onto Kled. Is that the target that they need? They'll use Loker to throw him back in. He's dismounted now. The W comes out, and RTM walks away. They have the superior health bars, and it's going to make Dorado think about it before they re-engage this fight. Still 30 seconds to go before the dragon spawns, and I think that that's going to be the big play, the big tipping point in this engagement.
Yeah, because this is a scenario where you force Dorado Gaming to come to you. Like they don't have a choice but to try and decline or deny this dragon because, well, it's Soul, and it's a 4-0 Soul at that, and it's spawning up. Return of the Middle Six has a lot of vision advantage here.
Yeah, this is a hard walk-in from Dorado Gaming. You can see they're trying to get mid-prio and walk in through that side. Ramasaurus started up on the dragon, just getting those autos down.
Ichirat has stolen set ultimate, which is interesting.
Yeah,
he's gonna pop
in
that.
with the engage, pops it on in. He's immediately going to die for it. Loker hits a big haymaker again. It's a double kill for Loker. And now on the backside of the fight, Hypnotic Scruff just trying to finish off Ramasaur. Doesn't really matter as it's a triple kill for Loker on the front side. Ramasaur does fall to Hypnotic Scruff. Akali trying to do anything he can, can't quite finish off Cairo. And it's a 5-for-1 ace for Return to the Middle Sticks, and they'll pick up the Mountain Soul.
Yeah, that is a pretty decisive victory and definitely puts Return of the Middle Sticks in firm control of this game. Not only are they going to pick up the Dragon Soul here, they're looking at Baron, and I don't see anything really stopping them. Unfortunately, this Silas pick has gone completely awry. 0 and 6 for Ichirat. Basically 0 effect he's had in any of these team fights recently either. So it's on the other 4 members to pick up the slack, and they're having a tough time doing it.
Yeah, it feels like maybe a pick that needs to go back into the pocket. That was really scary, actually. Nineline Klein got into the back of the pit with Mason while he was doing the Mountain Dragon, but somehow Mason secured that. Don't know how. Don't know what happened. But RotM got their cake and are eating it. They got both the Baron and the Mountain Soul. Hyperdoodles has a hat. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely is. Now with the Baron buff, we'll have to see what the lane assignments look like. I don't see a particular reason they can't. Well, actually, I don't even know if they want to 4-1 this. They can send Mason top. Hyperdoodle's going to pick up a couple more camps, but the rest should just be mid, which I agree with, and that's where they're headed.
Yep. Mason
I'm not
versus
sure if
Hypnotic
Hypnotic Scruff wants this. He looks like he does.
He's playing this really well so far.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
wow,
he's got that one. That's a really nice
yeah,
solo
he's got
kill.
that. That was expertly played by Hypnotic Scruff. Mason didn't even get to interact with him.
Yeah, and they'll pick up another objective bounty in the form of that tower in mid lane because Arch was just kind of left there while the rest of the team tried to go help Mason up in top lane.
Yeah, I feel like that's unfortunately the wrong call from Return of the Middle Sticks. Like Mason died in a pretty quick amount of time, given that he's Aatrox. I feel like you just slam it mid. You're pretty much 4v4 already, and you're almost certainly stronger without Hypnotic Scruff's Akali there.
Loker's getting the reverse treatment now. Has to try to fight out of his 1v4. I don't think he can do it. We'll keep an eye on it. He's got a lot of shields. More shields. Oh, he didn't really have that charged up. It looked kind of dangerous there
it was
for
about
a second.
half grit, and he didn't get the flash over the wall. I don't know if he... I have to assume that's what he was going for, but that's not the spot that you stand. You stand at the little crack in the rock, not the top side part of it.
Yeah, our team does get the tower in mid lane. They're still on 3 Baron buffs for the next minute or so, which I don't know if I can get a whole lot done with it, but maybe. Interrupt the recall of water flans. Ramasaur has to use the Ash ult away from 9-line Klein. Itchy Rat takes his own Ash ult, so we'll have to keep an eye on a enemy Enchanted Crystal Arrow flying on in, but 9-line Klein should be fine. Oh, the teleport
Climbs
coming
out.
in
That's
from
an
Hypnotic
interesting
Scruff.
TP.
There's the Ash ult onto
great arrow.
Seraphine. They'll turn immediately onto Cairo and take him down. That was actually a really nice Ash arrow from the Silas. Heimerdoodles and Ramasaur trying to kite away, but it's a double kill for Arch, and Dorado Gaming has flipped the script in the last couple of minutes.
What an answer. That was so nice. Itchy Rat's Silas pick finally gets an opportunity to pay off there as that TP comes in from Hypnotic Scruff. He's pretty much doing just about everything, although Arch is going to start doing something with these 3.5 items he's going to be on.
Yeah, Loker and Heimerdoodles just trying to hold the line here in mid. Hypnotic Scruff hits the E. I don't think he really wants to take that one in. Arch
Not
and
without
Itchy
ulti,
Rat
he
are
doesn't.
going to take down top tower, and we're back even. The big difference is that Mountain Soul that hasn't really come into fruition from ROTM.
Well, the problem with Mountain Soul in this game is something I wanted to bring up. I just haven't had a good analysis point in which to do it. It's not great this game. Like, I'm all for Mountain Soul, huge fan of it, but there's not a lot of members aside from Set that utilize it very effectively. I mean, Mason to an extent, but he's not really been in like team fights proper. He's been in duels and 1v1s. It's still effective there, but not quite as much when you're not getting multi-man Q hits that heal you for
Ash ult?
a crazy amount. Oh, close. Good awareness from Arch to E out of that one. I don't know if it would have hit him if he hadn't moved, but you don't want to really play around with Ash ult hitbox, I've found. It's kind of interesting.
He also still has Cleanse, so I don't know that it was a kill anyway, but then he wouldn't have Cleanse.
I mean, it's definitely more effective than it not hitting him, but still a good dodge on his part regardless. We are seeing a nice gap in jungle CS, which is to be a little bit expected with Heimerdoodles starting to pick up more effectiveness, but unusually quiet game. Scoreline's still fantastic for Heimerdoodles, 3-3 and 10, but he's not hard solo carrying as his Nidalee occasionally does. Gotta love this. This is, yep. And the jig is up.
Yeah, Mason and 9-line Klein renewing pleasantries up in the top lane.
It's
Mason's-
difficult to tell who actually wins that because Cled's such a wonky 1v1 character. But Mason definitely has the better of it in the short trades with that Eclipse that he's got to his name and the shred off of the Black Cleaver.
All right, so dangerous moments coming. There's 30 seconds to go on a Elder Dragon spawn, and
Let's see what
everyone's
Itchy
here.
Rat steals here. Itchy Rat definitely wants to steal Seraphine ult, but he's Cairo has been doing a really good job of staying away from the very long effective range of Silas ult steal, so he hasn't really been able to take that very often.
Oh,
He might
that
just end
spear
up
from
grabbing-
Heimerdoodles! He got the
Oh,
assassination on Itchy Rat. So, no support Silas. Arch gets hit by a spear as well. Loker's into the backline and they'll take him down. Huge fight from Heimerdoodles. Now the dash is in. Hypnotic Scruff is able to finish off Cairo on the backside of that one. They've set battle lines up, but can they really capitalize on them? Loker just wailing on through and they'll finish that one off. Heimerdoodles gets a triple kill and a rampage during that fight. And Waterflans is the last one left alive. He gets pulled in by Loker. I think he'll get out of this one, but in whatever dragon this is, this purple one is going to go over to ROTM.
Oh man, I don't even really want to talk about Itchy Rat's death because that was just a really clean assassination from Heimerdoodles. After that happens though, it was real disrespectful positioning from Arch that got him killed. Waterflans got dropped on top of him and he didn't have anywhere to go. You're just not allowed to be that close to Loker's set as he's running at you. You had no front line in front of you because Waterflans was running. Like he didn't want to burn ult for that.
Well, Andy got hit by the spear immediately afterwards. Like, just the first couple of seconds of that fight from Heimerdoodles were just godlike. Lands the spear, kills Itchy Rat, immediately turns, fires another spear in the other direction, hits Arch to burst him out to like a quarter health, and then it gets followed up on by Loker. Like, that was just a disgusting start of the fight from Heimerdoodles.
It's almost like he heard me 3 minutes into the future when I said he was not, solo carrying on the.
Oh my-
Arch is dead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it took a
995
second.
is dead.
It took a second for these pocket picks to come online for ROTM this game, but Mason's Aatrox online, now fighting away Hypnotic Scruff, finishes him off on the other side of the fight. Loker is in there. Oh my goodness. Water
He's very
Flans
in there.
is once again the last one left alive. He gets
Oh, he's in there.
suplexed out of the fountain and taken down.
Oh, he's in there.
The ace for Return of the Middle Sticks, the game for Return of the Middle Sticks, the undefeated regular season, and the #1 seed going into playoffs.
Really fun third game to watch and cast. Heimerdoodles, start 3-3-10, and then the last 2 minutes of the game happened, and he's 8-3-11. That's fine. It's pretty good.
I can't
Loker's
understand.
pocket set mid lane, quality. Love
Yeah.
that.
The set mid lane was great the last 2 games, and then
Actually disgusting.
I just can't understate that last fight from Heimerdoodles. That was just insane. Like, we hadn't seen it most of the game, like you'd mentioned, and then all of a sudden that last fight, Heimerdoodles is just seeing the line in his eyes, and he throws the spears, and they all connect. That was great. All right, really fun game to cast. RotM 2-1 over Dorado Gaming Kappa. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. That was really great. Thanks X-Craze and Marionette for the subs. Really appreciate that. I need this one. Next stream. I'm pretty sure we'll have playoffs for Surprise Party first, because I think RTM will get Darkwind will get a week off. So I think they have next week off for the first round of playoffs, and then they'll have a quarterfinal the week after. So we'll catch up with them as soon as we can, but keep an eye on the Discord, keep an eye on the Twitter. We'll post about it all. Yeah. Anything else you wanna add, Oath?
Not a lot, no. I'm looking forward to seeing how playoffs go for both of the squads, specifically Darkwind coming off of their undefeated season. That's pretty solid.
All right.
It should be good. I hopefully I will get to cast at least a couple of those series.
Yeah. Go watch CCS, I guess. It looks like another Dorado gaming team versus IDE, so that game's probably pretty good. Go watch that one, and
I remember IDE.
we'll see you guys soon.